Hello, and welcome to the Hesed Marriage Podcast. I'm going to call these episodes Milk and Cookies with Mom and Dad. So, we are olders. This is Sophia and Judah, our two older ones. We do have two younger ones, but they're asleep already. But we wanted to do something special with them, so they are going to ask us some questions about marriage.
I don't know what y'all necessarily want us to ask, so we just kind of have some questions out in the air.
Okay.
Just floating around.
Have Mom and Dad seen these questions?
Absolutely not. Y'all cannot see them at all.
Okay. Sophie, have we practiced these with you?
No, y'all haven't.
Okay. Okay. So without further ado, Milk and Cookies with Mom and Dad. All right. So since you're the oldest, you can go first.
Okay, so I have question number 1.
Okay.
What is it?
Sophie, just do it.
Read it, Sophie.
Come on, do it. I don't really want
Okay. All right. Judah, do you know the question?
Sophie, can I see your paper?
Here. I'm not looking.
They wrote these questions earlier during bath time.
So Sophie was talking to Judah, and Judah was taking a bath, so she was like talking to him. Okay, go ahead.
What is this podcast for?
What is the podcast for?
Yeah, that's what Sophie's question is.
Like, what is this podcast for, or what is a podcast for, just in general?
She said, what did you and Dad get? Why did you and Dad get married?
Okay, so now we
That
have
was
two
question
questions.
that was question 1, sorry.
Okay, so question 1, repeat question 1, please. Nice.
I have really bad allergies. Why did you and Dad get married?
Okay, why did Mom and Dad get married? Okay, well, so I'll share. Actually, I'll let Dad share.
Because she's hot.
Wow. Okay. We got married because
Milk and cookies, baby.
we got married because we loved each other. The first time I saw your daddy was Frosty the Snowman.
Mm-hmm.
And he was in 5th
His
grade.
lips don't lie.
Oh my goodness, neither does your beard. Okay.
Got my milk and cookies going.
So the first time I saw Daddy he was in 5th grade and I was in 6th grade, and he was Frosty the Snowman in a play at school, and I just thought he was so cute. And then
5th grade, I had a cougar.
Since I was older, he had no idea I even existed. Since I was older, when we went to high school, the next time I saw him I was a sophomore and he was a freshman. Mm-hmm. And he was so cute. And then we didn't talk to each other until I was a senior in high school and he was a junior.
Really?
I'm enjoying my milk and cookies.
So whenever you're a senior, is that like whenever you're about to quit? Are you about to end?
Pretty much. Pretty much.
You can ask a senior. So there's actually this disease called senioritis.
Yeah.
And
it's rampant.
No, but so when you're a senior, that means you're about to graduate high school. It's the last grade of grade school.
Yep.
I thought you quit.
I mean, some people do, but you guys are not going to quit. You're either going to go to a trade school or you're going to go to a college. Okay, next question. So why did we get married? Because we loved each other.
We got married because God told us to.
And because we loved each other.
Okay.
Soph?
Wait, where's my paper?
Oh, we're gonna play hot potato with the questions. Okay.
Hey, let's go. Hot potato, hot potato.
Judah, while she's reading that, can you take your headphones off and shut the door?
Yeah. I was about to ask that at the beginning.
Okay. Question number 2.
Here, I'll close the door so it's not so embarrassing.
Okay.
Question number 2 is, how did y'all meet?
Like officially?
What was our first date?
I think you should.
Yeah.
It was good stuff.
Okay, no, that's just kind of weird.
Our first date. My bride over here. Well, I'll set the stage for you, so I don't want to leave her hanging out to dry.
Wow.
We were at a get-together at a friend's house, and we had planned, it was a youth group from the church I grew up in, and we had a plan that we were all going to go to, it was later in the spring, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like
It was like
March.
right towards the end of, it was after spring break, right? Yeah. And we had made plans, we were going to go to Galveston for the day. And I think we had that Friday off for some reason, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because it was a Thursday night, and we talked about it, and then Friday we were going to go to Galveston and hang out. And a couple of girls that I grew up with were really good close with Megan. And we were all going to go over there and go hang out, go to the beach, maybe go to Moody Gardens, go eat, do all that stuff. And evidently Megan really wanted to go, but she didn't want to ask if she could go. And I didn't initially invite her because I didn't know she wanted to go. And she didn't really hang out with us a lot. She was still stalking me from 5th grade. And, so we ended up going on a date to Galveston, and it was funny and coincidence that all of our other friends bailed on her. And so it ended up being me and her and one of my other friends on this trip. And so we went to Galveston, and my wife, being fair-complected Castilian,
Oh, man.
decided that she didn't want to go to Galveston.
Hold on. Sophie and Judah, do y'all know what it means to be fair complected?
No.
That means your mama was white. Okay, your
She
mama.
looked like the tabletop.
I looked like literally. I was this color.
And she didn't want to go to the beach looking like Casper. So your mom decided to do this thing called self-tanner. Okay?
I think she's embarrassed because
I was embarrassed because I was orange.
She looked like an Oompa Loompa.
I
from
literally
Willy
turned
Wonka and the
orange.
Chocolate Factory.
My skin was orange, and my swimsuit, I looked like Halloween polka
Hang on, the
dot.
best part was she had a polka dotted bathing suit. So
It was
she looked
black
like
and
an
white
Oompa
polka
Loompa
dots.
with polka dots. It was great.
It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. And I had like orange self-tanner in between my fingers. It was so gross. But anyway, I guess he liked me enough.
Well, what attracted me was the confidence that this woman had. I mean, she was strutting herself like a rooster over here, strutting her stuff as a little Oompa Loompa polka dot.
Oh, man.
And I was like, I gotta have that
I want
woman.
to know why my mom thought it was okay for me to leave the house that orange. I was orange.
It was probably self-preservation because
I
they're
was
like,
orange.
everybody's gonna be scared of this woman. They're
I
like,
was
she's
orange.
crazy. Sophie, watch out! Don't bump in the mic. She's like, they're probably gonna be scared of this woman. She coming out like this.
So our first date was in Galveston. Y'all remember the spot where we've eaten before? We went to.
We go
right
get the
before-
burgers in that beach house. That's where we had our first date.
Right before we went to the festival. Was it? No. Yeah, the Festival of Lights at Moody Gardens. And we ate with Nana and Papa. Okay, so that was our first date.
That's where we, not that day, but
That
that's
was-
where we went on our first date.
That was where we went. Yeah, that was where we went on our first date.
Sophie, how many more questions do you want to ask?
Oh, are you getting sleepy? Oh.
I just want to know.
One more question.
You can have more.
Well,
You don't
I
just
do
have-
have a lot of questions.
All right, well, ask.
So the first question is,
Here, talk in the mic, honey.
why did you and Mom want to do it with couples? Like, why did y'all want to do the podcast with couples?
That's a good question. So we wanted to do this podcast with couples because everybody's story is different. So everybody's testimony is different. And the Bible says that we overcome by the blood of the Lamb. Okay, so who's the Lamb?
God.
Jesus.
Okay. And by the word of our testimony. So we overcome struggles with sin. We overcome sin by the blood of the Lamb. So by the blood of Jesus. Because what did Jesus do for us?
Died on the cross.
Okay, so by his sacrifice and by our testimony, like what we share about what Jesus did inside of us and how it changed us. So not every couple has the same story. So mommy and daddy's story is different from, some of our friends. So we just asked other couples if they wanted to share their testimony, because their testimony may help somebody else in a way that our testimony won't really help them or speak to them.
Because everybody's story is different.
Yeah.
Like some people, want
diamond rings. It's a song. Sorry.
What's up, Judah?
so like some people, Cody and Kate, they have a different story from y'all,
Right.
because y'all are different couples than them.
Right.
We've all walked different
Yeah.
parts of life, even though we're from the same families. And so it's important for us to share our story and what God's done for us, so that people that may not know God understand that there's hope if they're struggling with something.
Mm-hmm. It's a good question.
So what's the next question you got?
I didn't really know how many questions I wanted to ask, so I just wrote down 3.
Okay. Do you have any more in your mind?
Sophie, is it okay if I just jump right in here right now? Whenever I was in the bathroom bathing, I actually kind of helped her with some of her questions.
Okay.
So some of those questions are mine, but I gave them to her to ask. But I have some questions too.
Okay.
All right, so what questions do you have?
Nope. Sophie goes first until she's done. Whenever she's done.
Okay. Are you done? Or do you have another one?
I mean, you can share all the ones that you have. You don't have to just share those 3.
I'm still thinking of some, but
So you want me to go?
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Here, give me a second. Let me grab my paper.
Okay, well, while he's going, Sophie, what is something that you notice about how Daddy treats Mommy?
Do y'all want to just kind of hop in some of the times that we stop so y'all can ask some questions for us?
That's what I just did.
Yeah, let's do that every now and then.
Okay, so my question to Sophie was, what do you notice about how Daddy treats me? What is something that you like about how Daddy treats Mommy?
So sometimes whenever y'all do this, little dance,
She's meaning like sometimes whenever y'all start music and then whenever y'all are cooking and then out of the middle of nowhere, you and Daddy and you just start dancing.
Okay, I was about to say, that was gonna get really bad.
like this.
Okay, yeah, we like to have fun. I like dancing with him.
Why?
Why do I like dancing with him? Because he makes me feel beautiful.
Okay, Sophie, do you have any more questions? Because I think I can start with mine. Not at this second.
So you like when we dance? You like when Daddy dances with me?
yeah.
And it's not planned? Yeah. Okay, go ahead. I like that. That's sweet.
What did you and Dad love when we were born?
Oh, my goodness.
So that one over there,
Yeah. Let's go in.
me and you had some words when you were born.
What do you mean?
Me and you, we had some words.
Tell us.
Sophie is very chill now. She's pretty chill and laid back, but when she came into this world, she came in with a boom. And she was a drama queen, and she wanted to have all the attention.
Yeah, she did.
And she wanted everybody on the floor and everybody in the hospital to know that she was here. And she did. She did that. She had everybody. She didn't want to be on a schedule. She decided she was going to come when she wanted to come. She wanted to be in the center stage with all the lights, and she was. And she just made a grand old entrance, right? And she set the tone for getting my heart rate up. And I want you to know though, we spent a lot of time together the first few nights. Because Mom wasn't able to come see you for about 3 or 4 days when you were born.
Why? Why wasn't Mommy able to come see Sophie? What was wrong with mommy?
Mommy
I think I know
had
the answer.
Mommy had a lot of complications with Sophie, and Mommy almost didn't make it when Sophie was born.
Neither did Sophie.
No, yeah, there was a chance that Sophie or Mommy wasn't going to make it. And so Sophie wanted to have a lot of attention, and she got that. And so I got to come see you with, you remember the creepy Easter bunny? That was it coming up.
Pretty creepy.
We'll have to find that picture, and I'll try to put it on the video. But there was when Sophie was born, she was in the level 3 ICU, neonatal ICU. And it was right around Easter, like a couple weeks before Easter, and they had this Easter bunny come around and take pictures with all the isolettes and the NICU babies, and this bunny had the creepiest eyes, like the creepiest face. It looked like Judah told me one time, he looks like a serial killer bunny. And we have this picture, and the bunny's like coming up behind the isolette, and Soph's like sleeping, facing the other way, thank God. Because if she looked at the bunny, she probably would not have slept, like, ever again. But there's this really funny picture of Sophie when she's like a couple weeks old with this creeper bunny behind her. But beside the point.
I think it took like 3 days before I got to see you, maybe 2 or 3 days before I actually got to hold you. You were so tiny.
So when you were born, your whole body fit basically from here to here.
So you were, they call it premature. So
and your whole hand, when you grabbed my pinky for the first time,
a picture of that.
Your entire hand fit halfway between these two knuckles. Your entire hand fit right here.
You were so tiny. You weighed 5 pounds, which they said was actually big for a premature baby.
How early you were.
Yeah, you were, so let me just tell you how early you were. So, I mean, and I don't want to say you were early because God knew exactly what he was doing because he's used your story.
Atypical, your birth
as a testimony. But, so they told me when I was pregnant with you that you were going to come June 2nd. You actually had the same due date as Silas. You know Silas Flores? You and Silas had the same due date. That's how Samantha and I met. But, Silas came, I think, May 26th, but you actually came April 14th. You were supposed to come June 2nd. So you came really early. And it scared a lot of us. It scared a lot of people because Mommy was not doing well. Mommy had
didn't want to share her body.
I had to stop working in February.
Yeah.
I had to stop. I had to come home, and I actually had to lay in bed. I couldn't. The only thing I could do was go to the bathroom. I could I literally. It was the most boring time of my entire life. But
Can you watch movies?
I watched a lot of movies. I crocheted a lot. I actually crocheted your blankets and stuff. But I could not get out of bed. I was not. It's called bed rest. So from February until you were born, I had to lay in bed. It was a very long time. But I wanted you to be as healthy as you could be. So I let you grow. And for whatever reason, my body was like, no. So
you came out early.
You came early.
But you on the other hand,
when you came, you did not leave my side.
You would not let them take you away from Mom for 2 seconds.
So whenever we were in the car coming home, we were talking
There's no way
this.
You remember coming home from the hospital.
No. And
I was going to say.
Today, whenever we were in the car coming home.
I was going to say, don't try to act like you remember coming home from the hospital, son.
Me and Mom and Sophie we were talking about whenever we were born. And she said she had to carry me in this little sack wherever she went.
Oh, yeah, the kangaroo pouch.
And I would be just holding on, sleeping in there. Literally, wherever she went. If she went to the movies, I would be right there. Wherever she went.
Everywhere, yeah. Yep. You didn't want anybody to hold you either. Nana loved holding you. She loved holding you. Yeah, y'all were so loved from the moment that we knew that you guys were coming. Y'all have always been so loved. But I will tell you this, sons, you were very difficult to put down. I couldn't do anything.
Mom would have to lay you down and like army crawl out of the room.
I did. I had to sneak out of the room. If I farted, it would wake you up.
And you'd be like,
yeah, and then you wouldn't sleep.
So you actually had to like get on your elbows?
I got on my elbows and on my knees, and I literally military crawled out of the room.
That is so funny.
And
The
the way
other-
that you slept was you had to
Yep.
sleep with you had to sleep on your stomach
So
side.
you would put your face right here and put your little butt right here.
And
That's
would-
still what I
and
do.
and
That's
I would rock
literally
you
still.
like this, and you would go to sleep.
That's still what I do.
Yeah, that's how you fell asleep. That's the only way that you would fall asleep.
That's still how I fall asleep.
You put your head in your hand. Oh wow, explains a lot. All right,
Okay, next
who's got the
question.
next question? Judah. Sophie just asked one, so Judah.
Okay. No, I asked that one.
Sophie, do you have one then? Okay.
Okay. One
You
second.
need to lean forward a little bit, son. There you go.
One second. Okay. Why do y'all mostly talk whenever we're sleeping in bed?
Why did Mom and I talk when y'all are in bed?
Yeah, why do y'all usually talk every night?
Because there's 4 of y'all. And Mom and I have to be on the same page. And so the only moment there's any quietness in this house is when y'all are all tranquilized and asleep.
I'm not tranquilized because I still move.
I know, because I'll
I
hear
still
you
move.
walking on the stairs and I'll hear you laying down on the catwalk upstairs.
Yeah, but so it's really important in a marriage y'all understand that the priority or the order of importance is first and foremost God, and then mommy and daddy, and then you guys. That's God's order. So God is a God of order. And if you guys ever come before daddy or before God, then everything gets distorted. Now we love you, and because we love you, you have to understand that's the order that God designed. So it's really important for mommy and daddy to take the time to talk to each other. We communicate all day long. Daddy's texting me all day long, or we're talking to each other all day long. But it's really, really important when you guys do get married that you set special time to talk to your spouse, because your kids need to understand, okay, this is mommy and dad's time, and it's not our time. We've had our time with mommy and dad, but this is really, really for them. This is their time. And sometimes we talk about really hard things that even we don't know the answer to. And it's those moments where we really have to ask the Lord for wisdom on what to do. And we don't necessarily want to worry you guys or, have you guys wonder what's going to happen next, because we're asking the Lord for wisdom.
Right. It's a good question, though.
That's a really good question. Yeah.
Soph?
I have a question. What kind of conversations do y'all have, hard ones that y'all can't answer?
Yeah.
So some of the hardest ones are what we feel like we need to do in the future. What are we working towards?
One of the hardest conversations that we've had recently, and we actually talked about this on the podcast the other night, but one of the hardest conversations that mommy and daddy had to have was about you and about your surgery that you had.
I had 4 surgeries before.
So the last one that you
Right.
had.
Your most recent one.
Yeah, your most recent. So because we didn't know if we were even going to have the surgery. It was a really, really hard decision to make, and we spent a lot of time praying and a lot of time talking because we wanted what was best for you, but it just looked really scary. Do you remember? Do you want to tell a little bit about what you remember from the surgery, or from that experience?
So I remember one time I told mommy that I looked like Elsa because of the white bandage that was around my head, and it looked like Elsa's braid, and I was like, Mom, this looks like Elsa.
Yeah.
And I figured out that the doctors and nurses can see what I'm doing and if I have a seizure or not.
Mm-hmm.
And it's it was hard for me to go to the restroom, so mommy had to help me get out of the bed and go to the restroom. but that was like the toughest times.
You made it though.
Yep.
You're awesome.
And this one over here was keeping everyone straight. Alright, what's the next question, Judah?
I kind of just skipped one of the questions. One sec.
How long have you been married?
Do you know how long we've been married?
I think like 6 or 7 years.
6 or 7 years. Okay.
Wait, no.
I think I have a guess.
Yeah,
That would
6 or
mean that
7.
you were 2 when we got married.
What's your guess?
I would say like 30 or 20 years.
We got married when we were 6. Somewhere in between 30 and 6.
Somewhere between.
I know. It's 7 years. Cause technically I'm 9, and if you subtract 2, it's gonna be 7. 7 or 8.
No, but we were married before we had you.
This is hard. Okay,
We were married before we
here.
had
Give me the math. I can do it.
Alright, we were
Okay,
married
if Sophie's
in-
10.
We were married in December of 2010.
Okay.
Do the math.
I have to write it on the board to do the math.
Okay, if it's 2024 and we got married in 2010
Okay. So 24
Minus 10.
minus 10.
minus 10. Let's see. 4 minus 0 is 4.
14.
There you go.
Yeah. So
It'll
we've
be-
been married how many years?
14 years.
Yes.
It'll
In
be 14
December,
years
it'll
in
be
December,
14.
But yes.
So 13 and a half?
Yeah.
That's a good number.
Okay.
I was really close to 7.
But I'm really proud of you with your math.
36,
You were working on
yeah.
your math in your head.
We were.
That was really good. Okay. Any more questions, or are we done with this episode?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
We're not done, or no, you're done with your questions?
No, no, we're not done.
No.
Okay. Well, how about this? I'm gonna give each of you get one more question, and then we're gonna call it an episode.
Because y'all need to go to bed.
I can tell.
Because
It's
these
like-
questions are going to devolve as y'all get tired.
Okay.
It's like 10:30 right now.
Good call. It's 10:15. Good job. You get that from me. Okay. Next.
That's a lie.
I liked your face. Okay. Sophie, question.
Last one.
Your last question for this episode.
I know that. Daddy, when were you born?
When was I born? It was a sunny day.
Oh my goodness.
The clouds opened up.
So wait, we're gonna actually go into detail?
Yeah, there was a rainbow.
Okay.
I even think a leprechaun skipped across the sky.
Gosh.
Many moons
Okay.
ago.
Michael.
July 19th.
Yes. We were actually born the same year. So mommy and daddy were born in the same year, but daddy has something called dyslexia.
Dyslexia?
You know what dyslexia is?
Yes.
What is it?
Percy Jackson has it. It's where sometimes where your letters get mixed up and you see something different of what other people see.
Yeah, your brain processes.
I call it opportunities.
Okay. Your brain processes letters differently than what someone who doesn't have dyslexia. So sometimes the letters will, whenever you're reading, your brain will see the letters and they won't necessarily be the right, like turned the right way. They may even move on the page. It's really hard for your brain to process it. So some people, they use different colored sheets, like called overlays. And some people even get special glasses. And then some people they use different tools to help them learn how to read correctly. But daddy had something called dyslexia. So whenever we were kids, they didn't have ways to help kids with dyslexia. So daddy was a little bit behind when he was learning how to read. And so Nana and Papa held him back in kindergarten. So, but we were born the same year.
I say I didn't know how to share, but they told that story.
So if you've seen Percy Jackson, he has dyslexia, and it's really hard for him to process the letters and numbers.
Yeah, but he gets to
for
see in what language?
Greek.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
really hard for him to see.
Yeah.
All right, so Judah,
Next
last question.
Wait, so you're telling me that y'all were born on the same year?
Mm-hmm.
Not on the
But-
same day.
Whose birthday's coming up?
Yours?
Yeah, when's my birthday?
May 10th.
Wow. You remember my birthday? Yes, my birthday was May 10th, 1987. Daddy's is July 19th, 1987.
1987?
Yeah, please don't.
I literally just completely guessed one time. I was like, I think you were born 1987, and I was like, how did you know? And I
Okay,
was like,
you have another question?
I just put it in there.
Okay, one more question.
Do y'all still do sometimes I feel like y'all do some of your childhood things in your adulthood. Like Dad still plays games.
Oh, all the time. Yeah, so I actually, when I was Sophie's age, that's when I learned how to bake. I learned how to bake when I was Sophie's age, and it's one of my favorite things to do. I also really like to color. I love coloring, but I don't get to do it very often because
Of this?
I have 4 children.
And of this too, right?
No,
I can let you borrow my notebook so you can and my markers.
Yeah, I
Because
really.
I don't use them during the day.
Well, I really
Where do you
enjoy
keep your
coloring.
markers so I can throw them away? So y'all quit staining the carpet.
I use
But yeah,
them
no,
at school.
and I love, one of my favorite things to do is watch movies. So when Cody and I were little, we used to watch movies, and to this day, like we'll quote lines from movies, and that's just something really fun that we did when we were little.
Oh, like from C-Spot Run.
Yes.
Where's the dog from?
Hell.
It's the Satan's dog. Yes, so we enjoyed that.
That was kind of funny.
That was funny.
So,
Okay.
hold on. I have one more.
Okay.
One more. Why did y'all feel like doing the
Podcast?
no? Why did y'all feel like doing certain things with us instead of the twins?
Because y'all are at an age where we can start having those more mature conversations. Because so we believe that there's an age of innocence, meaning you don't really understand sin.
From that age.
Do what?
From that age.
You don't really understand sin because you still haven't matured. But you and Sophie are at an age right now where you are outside. You understand right and wrong. And so because you understand right and wrong, we're able to have more mature conversations than we would be able to have with the twins. Like right now, the twins don't know how to ask, when were you married? Now, Sayla will ask strangers if they're married, but she doesn't understand what that means. She sees somebody kissing and she thinks that they're married. And it's like, no, marriage it's a commitment.
It's a ring.
No.
Yeah, but necessarily it's not a ring, but the ring is a symbol of you're married.
Exactly.
It's true.
Yeah.
Daddy, do you have any questions for us?
Yeah, you haven't asked us anything.
Where do you hide your piggy banks?
Well, sometimes I'll just stuff it under my bed.
There we go. I'm gonna go into your bed.
I'm actually completely lying because I don't want to tell you.
Okay, I think we're digressing.
Wait, no, he's broke. He's broke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually am pretty much broke. I have $0.00.
Yep. You spent it all on that game, didn't you?
That's funny.
Well, yeah.
You spent it all on the game, then you try to talk Sophie into giving you a loan so you could buy another game.
Okay, I think we're digressing. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close us out. Sophia and Judah, thank you so much for being part of our podcast this episode. There will be more episodes.
First episode of
This
Milk
is
and
the
Cookies.
first episode of Milk and Cookies with Mom and Dad. So if you guys want to wave and say thank you so much for joining us.
We're going to be in episode
5.
This is in the future. Yeah, we're going to be in 5, 7, and 9.
Oh, okay. So you're just naming them out. All right. Well, you guys work on the topic.
We'll do 3. Wait, no, we already passed 3, right?
Like 10 questions.
Y'all better start
Yeah.
writing your questions.
You better start writing your questions. So, all right. This is the Hesed Marriage Podcast, where we share loving kindness and
and
covenant
cookies.
loyalty. And these are our 2 older children, Sophia and Judah. And we call these episodes Milk and Cookies with Mom and Dad. So we will see you next episode. Thank you so much for joining.
Mommy and Daddy are milk, and me and Sophie are cookies.
Sweet. Thank y'all so much.
Bye.
Bye.